Hey guys, we are back again. Day
Welcome,
late.
welcome.
Thanks to Spider-Man, we're a day late.
Yep, that's okay.
Well worth the delay.
Yeah, definitely.
And a bunch of stuff happened in the last 24 hours anyway, so now we have more information. It feels like a long time ago, but we'll jump right into what happened last week. And I'm gonna have a bad time.
You
Uh,
did have a bad
I
time.
had a very bad time because Poopy Lamar got me 1.1 points.
Oof.
Oh, my camera disappeared, but
Bye
we're just gonna
bye.
roll with it. I don't know
All right.
what's wrong with the damn thing. So he's probably out this week, but so is everybody else. It turns out.
Right. Yeah.
Um, he has less points on the year than Kirk Cousins, not just
Which
like week by week, but
which
yeah.
surprises me, even with that bad week. Like I don't know. I just didn't think he was having
Oh,
a non-Lamar year. But
that a me problem?
you there?
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
I don't know if you went quiet or if my headphones went quiet.
I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll figure it out. Somebody will let us know.
All right.
So, since we talked about last week, we'll jump right into the Poopy Lamar game. I lost by 101.
Oof.
101.
Oof.
I was talking about it this week. I'm glad I had a terrible week in a week where I probably wasn't going to win anyway.
Right.
Because Hardy had like 198 points. I mean, sure, it would have been nice to score 100 points. But
He almost
whatever.
doubled you.
He did almost double me.
Jeez.
No, he more than doubled me. I
Oh,
had
that's right. Yeah.
98.
Yep.
He had
Jeez.
199 or some bullshit. So, yeah, he kicked my ass.
The champ came for blood.
Yep. But see what happens. I think after last night, we've got a new regular season champ. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. I had a text message about an elf to handle. Yeah. So
Dad
not only
movies.
did we talked about it last week, Dalvin Cook went nuts.
Right.
Nobody busted. Herbert had a great game last week, not last night. Although last night was good too.
Yeah.
And then he started the Titans defense that shut out the Jags and got 27 fucking points. So, yeah, that game was over before it started. Fournette,
Unfortunately.
Edwards-Helaire, and my defense showed up, and everybody else was god awful. Like 4 people under 5 points, bad.
Oof.
I could have locked up the 1 seed last week. Now I got to do it this week. Thankfully, I get to play Joey, and thankfully the Chiefs showed up this week. So
Right. Yeah.
I'm feeling good. I think I'm up by like 80, 77, something like that.
Yeah.
So
We'll talk about playoff seeding.
yeah, we got a
later,
whole
I think.
lot of
Yeah.
details about
Yeah.
what's going to go on with the playoffs here in a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll keep blitzing through what happened last week. Important game for Trust the Process. Second time in 3 weeks, she matched up against Mark and the Mass Killer.
Right.
And this time it flipped. She easily beat Mark a couple weeks ago. This time, Mark used Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs defense. Cooper Kupp, Mark Andrews racked up 150 points. Dude had 2 goose eggs in his lineup. Still won by like 80.
Pulled out it. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust the process. Lost Terry McLaurin before he got any points. McKissick wound up being a game time scratch.
Sure.
Nobody really did much of anything good. That team is super duper injured. So she still clinging to playoff life with a win this week, but only 80 points last week.
Right.
Not great.
Nope, not at all.
Next up, we had a game that didn't really matter. It was Eric and Polay. Polay had a great game,
Great.
as he had a few. Got his 3rd win on the year. Mostly because the Packers all showed up.
Right.
He started 4 Packers. They got 110 points.
Jeez. It's a good stack.
Yeah, creepy Uncle Herb benched James Robinson, so that didn't help Eric with his 0.4 points.
Right.
And Matt Breida and Manny Sanders let down Eric, just like the Bills let down Eric.
Mm-hmm.
And he is locked in his 4th losing season in 5 years. Runner-up last year. Other than that, it's been...
Buffalo Soldiers having a bad time.
Yeah, it must be something about Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills, Buffalo Soldier.
Hey.
I don't know.
Hey. At least we can hire a head coach.
Yeah. I don't know. Nick wants him gone. You want to talk about your game with the Lucky Charms?
Yeah. Thanks to the young gun Najee and JJ's big game, that definitely helped. And playing Cowboys defense against who was it, Washington, right? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they smacked. I was able to clinch a pretty easy 40-point win. It missed out on they missed out now on a shot to take the top spot because of your loss there. But he lost too, which we'll go into later on discussing the playoff seeding.
Yeah, you won that game, so you've still got a shot at the one
Still
seed.
got a shot, but like you said, Kansas City didn't help me last night. So we'll see.
If I win, we'll talk about it in a minute. But if I win, that's wrapped up.
Yep.
And then in an even less meaningful game, Joey and Justin squared off. It meant nothing. They're locked in. The two of them are locked into like the 2 and 3 picks.
Yep.
Maybe they can sneak out a 1.
Yeah.
And it was a close game. It was the only game that was actually relatively close. But Justin used a bunch of white guys like Josh Allen and Hunter Renfrow and get that 10-point victory. Tyler Lockett, before he got the vid, had a good game.
Right.
Tyler Higbee missing Monday Night Football kind of stung Joe.
Yep.
Again, COVID related. So it was the beginning of the end there on Monday. If Joey starts Rashad Penny over Sony Michel, he gets the meaningless win instead of Justin.
Right.
And instead, Hardy still has an outside shot at the 101, which is gross.
That won't happen. I'll take care of Nick this week. And
all right. That's all we need.
Yep.
There were a couple trades on Sunday, actually.
Yeah. Really, they were to make a full lineup, weren't they? Basically, weren't they?
Yeah. I know the Jeff Wilson trade because he immediately wound up in the lineup, and it was at like 11 o'clock.
Right.
Nick sent Christine, Jeff Wilson for Jalen Reagor and a 4th. Yeah, I get it. Makes sense.
Yep.
Get points. Nick gets a shot at a wide receiver in year 2 who hasn't done much, but maybe he does. 4th round pick, whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
And then during the 1 o'clock games, she also picked up Tyler Boyd for a 3rd, which I think is fair. I think Tyler Boyd's probably worth a little more than a 3rd. So that's a good trade, really. I get it for Eric. He gets extra picks.
Yep.
Trying to retool that team that was good last year. Yeah, dinged up pretty good this year, losing Dobbins and stuff. So that's a fair. They're both decent deals. They both made sense. Nothing major.
No.
Nothing major. So we'll do a little playoff primer here. Run down what's going to happen. Somebody might have noticed I changed my team name. Ouch for you, bro, is out. It's now the Spirit of Vince Wilfork. Most of the league probably doesn't get this. 2013 or 14, maybe it was 15, somewhere around there. I played Hardy in a redraft championship, and at the end of Monday Night Football, he had beat me by like a 1.5. There's a stat change on Thursday for my New England Patriots defense because Vince Wilfork barely got a finger on a missed field goal. So it got me 2 points for a blocked field goal.
Swap the chip, man.
Swap the championship.
That's rough.
So
could have happened to a nicer guy.
So as Hardy seems destined to try and play me in the playoffs, I felt like I needed a little comeback magic from the old days.
Ghosts and spirits fast.
In there. That's right.
Nice.
So for me, it's simple in the playoffs. If I win, which, like we talked about, I got 77 points from 3 Chiefs last night.
That's good.
Which really, I got 70 points from 2 Chiefs, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire did a little bit of something.
Right.
So things look good there. If Joey does manage to come back and pull off an upset, I can still be the 1 seed if you lose. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
And if I lose and you win, but I outscore 2 more teams than you, I switch the tiebreaker back, and then I'm still the 1 seed.
Right.
Which I guess is possible if I was going to lose, because I'm probably going to be a high-scoring team this week after putting up all those points.
Yeah.
But I think most likely I should be able to tackle Joey, and I can't really fall outside of the 1 seed or the 2 seed because I locked up the division.
Nice.
Because Lucky Charms can't catch me on a tiebreaker.
Right.
You, on the other hand, could literally finish anywhere.
Yep. Fun stuff.
Basically the opposite of what we just said. If
Mhm.
I lose and you hold your tiebreaker lead and you win, you get the 1 seed.
Yep.
Which of course has a nice little payout. I think you get your buy-in back for finishing in first place. 2 seed if you win and I win.
Right.
Like if you win and nothing and you don't get the 1 seed, you get the 2 seed.
Right.
Or if you lose, Lucky Charms loses and Hardy loses, you get the 2 seed.
Right.
Now, if you lose, Lucky Charms loses, and Hardy wins and outscores you, he takes the division, jumps to the 2 seed, and you fall to the 3 seed. And then if all that happens, and then Lucky Charms wins, you fall all the way to the 4 seed, and you get to play me. So you could end up anywhere, which is wild.
Yeah. But I'm locked in, right?
Yes.
Like I can't fall out. Okay.
The top 3, you, me, and Lucky Charms are all locked in.
Thought so.
We're all locked in. And speaking of him, like I said, he can't win the division, but he can't miss the playoffs.
Right.
If he wins, he's the 3 seed. And if Hardy wins the division and he loses, then he would be the 4 seed.
Okay.
Gets weird. Yeah, that's it. That's how he could fall to the 4 seed. If he loses and Hardy steals the division from you, he falls to the 4 seed.
Okay.
Chris are both winning in.
Yep.
It's just that simple. If Christine wins, she can only make it to the 4 seed.
Okay.
If she loses, she goes to toilet bowl. Hardy, if he wins, we talked about he could end up the 2 seed by virtue of taking the division from you.
Yep.
Could end up as the 3 seed if he wins and Lucky Charms loses, or if he wins and everybody else wins, he's the 4 seed.
Okay.
So those are the playoff matchups, or the playoff opportunities. Everybody else, better luck next year.
Yep.
If Joey loses, which seems possible, and you manage to stumble against Pole, then Joe's pick becomes the 101, which goes to Hardy. And between Joe's pick and Nick's pick, that's 1 and 2, no matter what.
Right.
Neither one of them can drop lower. Picks 3, 4, and 5 are going to be Justin, Mark, and Eric in some order, depending on how those games all play out. Pick 6 goes to the loser of the Chris game, and then the rest of the playoff teams settle 7 through 10.
Right.
So, like we just talked about, there's literally a playoff game this week.
Yep.
Chris and Chris. Whoever wins is in. Whoever loses is done. So their playoffs start this week. And what a terrible week to have that happen.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I was looking at Hardy's fine. He doesn't have anybody in any of those 3 games. Christine, not so much. Already lost Nuke and Jalen Waddle.
Right.
Gaston came off the COVID list, so that's good news. Henderson's going to buy some time to maybe come off of the COVID list with them pushing the Rams-Seahawks game to Tuesday.
Yeah.
That one got pushed to Tuesday.
Yep.
So,
Chubb's
game get moved. Chubb's not on the list. His game got moved.
Right.
Kind of worried about players on those teams that aren't on the COVID list just popping up on the COVID list now.
Yep.
I know the league changed the rules for vaccinated players. They can come back faster now.
Right.
So that's probably helpful, assuming that the guys you need to come back are vaccinated. Right. But really, I think Hardy's heavily favored on paper here. Christine's team is injured or has COVID, like the whole thing.
Yep. Everybody's dead.
Yeah, it's about half her team. So and that's kind of how we wound up here because just the whole thing fell apart at the end of the year.
Yeah. Which isn't this just about last year? Last year this time too? Wasn't that one?
I don't remember. I know Tomedy was in it towards the end, but same thing, kind of fell apart. I don't know if that was injury related or just performance related. I have to look. But you know what? 2 weeks ago, the draft process had like the lowest score ever in league history.
Right.
Because the team's just completely fallen apart.
But
like we talked about, she had to make those trades just to get bodies and lineups.
Right.
It's a tough break. once you lose Derrick Henry and then everything else starts to crumble,
Right.
it's a tough way to fall. So yeah, these matchups we won't know until Tuesday probably.
Right.
Because there's going to most likely be somebody in those games. The Browns game went to a Monday night doubleheader.
Yep.
They moved all the games back 2 days. And since the Browns were going to play Saturday, they moved it back to Monday.
Right.
Well, the rest of the games this week, obviously not as important as the one playoff game. We talk about I Play Joe. Joey's pick becomes the 101 if he manages to lose and Pole wins.
Right.
I win. It's the 1 seed. I wrote in here before the games last night, lopsided on paper, and now it's just lopsided in general.
Yep.
Thanks to Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Makes you feel any better. I'm playing against them in a bunch of leagues in the playoffs, so it's kind of bittersweet because this week's not super important in this league for me.
Right.
But I'll take points whenever I can get them.
Exactly.
Lucky Charms plays Eric and Buffalo Soldier. It's kind of interesting. Lucky Charms owns Buffalo Soldier's first round pick.
Huh.
So even though it doesn't matter a whole lot to Lucky Charms if he wins the game, it does for the draft pick that he has, because if Eric loses, the pick's more likely to be like 3 or 4.
3 instead of.
Whereas if he loses that game, that pick moves up to probably like 6.
Right.
So kind of an interesting little twist in a game that doesn't matter a whole lot to the standings.
Right. Add something to it.
Right. Something to play for. And in a game with nothing to play for, Justin plays Mark. Yeah. One of them's going to end up with a higher draft pick because of this game. Right. Mark's going to get another fine if he doesn't get friggin' Deontay Harris out of his lineup. 2 weeks in a row, starting a dude who was suspended 3 weeks ago. Safe to say, little late season checkout going on there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, COVID is messing up week 15.
Yep.
3 games rescheduled. A bunch of players in a bunch of games either have COVID, could get COVID, or just in general their games are moved back. We're not doing anything. If you got somebody in those games, start them at your own risk at this point.
Yep.
Like I said, in the most important game this week, which is kind of the whole point of this week in this league is really just that game.
Right.
And Hardy has nobody. He's got a Monday night in there, but that's actually the original Monday night game.
Right.
Yeah. No. That's what happens when you start like 17 people from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
But Christine, Russell Wilson's game got rescheduled. Nick Chubb's got rescheduled. Darrell Henderson's got rescheduled. Damian Harris, by the way, is out and in your starting lineup, and so is Jalen Waddle. So it's not getting better.
No.
Let's see. That game didn't. And then a couple games here that didn't actually get rescheduled. So
Terry's game got rescheduled.
Oh yeah, Terry's game got rescheduled. So of course, the team that already was having all kinds of problems gets more problems.
Right.
Feel for you. It's a rough break the way this all fell apart here at the end.
Yeah.
I would love, in a selfish way, I would love for her to figure out how to win this game.
Oh yeah.
Because then I get to face the team with all the problems in the playoffs. And that seems beneficial. But if I say that,
and Hardy's out of
together
and Hardy's out of the playoffs.
Hardy's out of the playoffs. That's great.
Yeah.
Only one team's ever even made the playoffs in their defending season. So let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
And even that was like a technicality because that was when Gary won the first Gary.
Right.
And Mark took over. That's the only time anybody's ever even had a shot at defending their championship.
Lots
of parity, really. Everybody's been up, everybody's been down, except for Justin. He got screwed.
Yep.
Chase set that team down, and he hasn't been able to help. Everybody Justin drafts just gets hurt. Everybody Justin trades for just gets hurt.
Yep.
So it hasn't been fun for him. Maybe he'll have some better luck in my newbies league. He just took over an orphan team there.
Nice.
It's old, but it's a lot better than the team he's got now. Oh man. So yeah, that's really about it. Other things that matter, we pay out for whoever has the toughest schedule, which all year long has been Pole. If I keep going nuclear on Joey, There's a shot Joey could steal that, which,
yeah.
a little bow on a bad season for Joe.
Money's money.
Money's money. Pays for your buy-in next year. It's the whole reason you want to win these leagues is so you just keep playing in them without having to pay for them.
All right.
That's really the whole point, I guess. I mean, I don't know why you would ever join like 15 of them or something, but whatever.
Yeah. Who does that?
Oh, I don't know. Somebody asks me, I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I was looking for. Points against. They're both out here in the bottom half of the Rock division.
Looks like he's got them by like 70 right now.
Yeah, it's 1997 for Pole and 1928 for Joe. So basically, if I beat you by like 65 points,
right,
that flipped the switch there. Which you could win and still score 65 less points than me.
True.
Just because you're playing, like Nick might only score 80 again.
Right.
So hopefully all the games get played this week.
Hopefully.
That's really what it's about.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. How'd you do in your other leagues? You make the playoffs? I
know
you didn't in the redraft.
I did.
You made the playoffs?
Yeah, all three of my redrafts I made the playoffs.
I didn't realize any of us made the playoffs in that stupid league.
I squeezed in there. I snuck in there.
Nice.
My other, so in 5 total. My other Dynasty that I bowed out of, I didn't. So 4 out of 5.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is pretty good.
When I got the 1 seed, so I got to buy this week. This week started playoffs, but I'm going to buy it. So I'm like, dang.
It's a good week to have the bye week. Oh. I had a couple bye weeks, but some of them were leagues where the playoffs started last week.
Oh, man. So this week is
now the second round of the playoffs. I have 1 bye week this week, which is nice, especially because I think I have a bunch of football team players in there.
Okay.
But out of my 17 or 18 leagues, I went 50-50 in redraft.
Okay.
3 in, 3 out. One team in Pole's redraft league made the playoffs at 5-9, tied for last place.
How the hell did you make the playoffs?
6th through 10th were all 5-9, and I was 3rd in the league in points for. I just kept getting bad beat after bad beat.
Damn.
So I wound up 5-9. I had to win the last week to be able to get in.
Okay.
And then my Dynasty leagues. Not quite the same percentage, but I took over a lot of bad teams.
Right.
Took a lot of orphans over.
And I'm sure you've got a lot of rebuild projects in there too. So.
Yep. 4 or 5. I think I made the playoffs in 6, 7 leagues. Yeah, okay. I made it in 7 out of 12.
All right.
And like I said, 3 or 4 of those were orphans. One of those was one that 2 of those were ones I destroyed myself.
Right.
One was a startup last year. I went old receiver, and it was like Michael Thomas, Odell Beckham, Keenan Allen.
Oh.
Woof, 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 woof.
Yep.
Everybody dead. Then I traded 2 firsts for Allen Robinson to put myself over the top last year.
Oh.
Yeah. Didn't go well.
No.
So I finished 6 and 8 there and out of the playoffs. So I think that's about it. We're right about at the time we usually call it. We rattled through that. I thought this one was going to run long.
Yep.
But I mean, the games mean less.
Right.
Less games mean more. How's that?
Yep.
Just a couple games really have major implications.
Yep.
But next week we're going to talk about the playoffs.
Playoffs.
Set up playoffs.
Playoffs.
They are going to be set up for week 16.
Yep.
Who plays next Thursday? Because we're going to try and go back to Thursdays. I don't like this whole recording on Friday night.
Nah.
Not cool.
That's weird talking about last week when the game already happened this week.
Ew, Titans-Niners is the game. I'd rather talk to you about the previous week. Titans. Yeah. Anybody good on the Titans is on the injured reserve.
Right.
One thing I didn't think of that. Christine gets Julio Jones back. Did she trade him away? I don't even know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Julio Jones is back, so there's something. But if you're already in, and if Hardy sneaks in, that's only a 50-50 shot at a new champ.
Yep.
If Hardy doesn't make it, then it jumps up where you're the only one who can repeat. Right. Nobody's repeated through 4 years. So we'll see what happens. You and Hardy could end up playing each other, which would reduce the odds of a repeater.
Yep.
All right. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Hardy took over the. We don't pay it out, but Hardy has the points lead after putting up 200 fucking points last week.
Right. I was going to ask you if there was a payout for that. I didn't remember.
No, there's not. We do regular season champ, that eliminator pool, and most points against, just as like a throw into whoever probably got screwed.
Right.
I know one year I managed to do both. I had the least points for my tank year. I had the least points for and the most points against.
Damn.
So not only did I have a successful tank, but paid for itself because I got a rough schedule.
Right. There you go.
And I never had the luxury of playing myself, who was scoring like 30, 40 points less than everybody.
Right.
I think that's honestly what it was.
Right. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I think we'll call that. Like I said, I gotta do elf shit and start putting Christmas toys together.
Fun.
Yeah, I mean, talking to Santa about how to put these Christmas toys together.
Right.
That's what it is. So good luck, everybody. Good luck, Chris and Chris. Hopefully, everybody's healthy enough to play football Monday and Tuesday.
Go see Spider-Man. Everyone, go see
absolutely.
Spider-Man.
Go see Spider-Man. We're going to spoil it in the chat if you don't go see Spider-Man. Not really. That'd be a dickhead move. But
it will be. Yeah.
It is well worth the time and money.
Agreed. Yep.
Great movie. Yep. Glad we got to go see it. Sucks we got to record on a Friday, but we're done.
Yep.
So good night, everybody. Good luck this week, and we'll talk to you during the Titans-Niners game.
Fun. Go Bills.
Peace.
Yeah.